Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's short video, we're going to be diving headfirst into Breachstone boss farming. So Breachstones right now are pretty cheap, thanks to a few videos that came out a few days ago, which showcased the strategy, and now people are seeing that it's worth doing. Now that provides us an opportunity. Chayula Breachstones specifically right now are 44C, definitely not too expensive. Now, what would happen if you farmed these Breachstones? Would it be profitable? What would you be looking for from the drops? Well, we would be trying to farm a currency item called a Blessing of Chayula, which right now is worth 414C. That's 10 times the price of the Breachstone alone. And it's not just that though, you can actually get a really powerful unique armor from farming Chayula Breachstones, and that is the Skin of the Loyal, which right now, even with bad colors, is worth a pretty good amount. And if you get good colors, it's worth upwards of 1 to 2 divines. So there's some pretty damn big drops. But on top of that, you also do get some pretty reasonable bubblegum from currency and scarabs that drop just normally in Breachstones these days. So there's also that too. So with all of that considered, how profitable could it be to farm Chayula Breachstones? Well, in true testing fashion here, I went out and I bought 50 of these bad boys here, and I ran them all. And of course, we recorded the loot. Now, what was the loot, you might be wondering? Well, let me give you guys the quick summary here. What we got, which was worth selling, was as follows. We got a ton of uniques here from Chayula themselves, 50 Chayula Breachstones. You can see, look at all of these swords. We got all of these from Chayula themselves, and we also got 10 feared invitations here, which is a kind of even number, which is a little bit suspicious here. We got a total of 6 jewels from Chayula, so we got 3 red dreams, 2 green dreams, and 1 blue dream, but we got a singular Skin of the Loyal, just 1. Now, the big hit though, the big juicy currency maker is the Blessings of Chayula, but we only got 3 of them in 50 Breachstones, just 3. So these are very different to the drop rates of old. It used to be that you used to get a Skin of the Loyal roughly 50% of the time per Breachstone you ran. And if I recall correctly, you used to get a blessing 50% of the time as well. Well, that is certainly not the case anymore, at least based on the test I did here. Now you could go for a larger sample size to get a better idea of what's going on, but I always operate under the assumption that where there's smoke, there's fire. It's true I could have got really unlucky, but running 50 of them and getting 1 Skin of the Loyal and only 3 blessings definitely is a bit suspicious. And when you go and look at the supply of these blessings, as well as the other blessing types like Zoftul and Esh, those are very, very low in supply as well. So I think we've cracked the code here on why those breach uniques and those flawless breachstones are so expensive. The blessings are just exceptionally rare. But what else did we get? Well, we did get a ton of scarabs and other currency items, and a surprisingly large amount of mortal fragments here, which we're going to be taking a look at and seeing how much those are worth as well. But we also did get some miscellaneous stuff here, which I haven't included. You get a bunch of stuff like div cards, random maps which aren't your favorite, fractured items here and there. And overall, you do just get a lot of, what I would consider garbage, which you wouldn't yet, regularly sell. So we're not including that. We're just including the cream of the crop here. So, okay, how profitable was it then? Well, let's dive into a spreadsheet here and see the results of our 50 Breachstone test here. Alright, so in order to understand how much we made, I took all of those uniques and all the loot we just checked out, which we said was the cream of the crop, and we put it in our self-updating spreadsheet here, which you can make a copy of or find down below. So our expenses were certainly not small, and as I woke up this morning, I noticed that the Chayula Breachstones has actually become more expensive since I filmed the start of this video. So they're actually now 49C each, and we ran 50 of them. So the total cost of this experiment was 2,450C. That is certainly a lot to make back and to try and make some profit with. So how much did we end up making in revenue though? And did we actually even make any money? Well, we got 189C worth of raw currency. That's the bubblegum currency we were talking about earlier that just drops from killing the breach monsters. You can see it all here if you're interested. We got 155C in invitations. That's the feared invitations, which is pretty good. And we got 138C in random assorted scarabs. Now, because the scarabs are all equally weighted, what I did was I just grabbed however many I got of each type, and I averaged it out across all the different types so that we have a reasonable assessment of how much we made, in case we got lucky and get like 10 divination scarabs versus like 10 bestiary scarabs or something like that. So it's all averaged out there. We made 138 C in scarabs on average. And then here's the big one, Breach. We made 1,534 C in revenue from Breach here. Now, what does Breach include? Well, it includes our Chayula blessings, which we got 3 of, which was lucky for us. And we also are going to be including all of those uniques that we got, which we did get a few, which are kind of semi-valuable here. We got 27 in sleeps, 1 blue dream, 3 red dreams, 2 green dreams, and of course 1 skin of the loyal. Now the skin of the loyal I actually got has good colors, and I price checked it. It is actually worth 2 divines. But this is the worst possible colors you could get, as recorded here in our little spreadsheet here. So you could make a lot more, but we're going to record the worst case scenario. Now, in terms of fragments here, we do have our final amount of little bit of money here to record. We actually did get quite a lot of mortal fragments here, which you can see, and that did come out to be about 82C here. So our total earnings from farming 50 Chayula Breachstones, which took me around 2 minutes each, so a total of 100 minutes, or a little bit over an hour, or under 2 hours, is 2,100 chaos, which means we lost money farming these Breachstones. So a negative profit of 360 chaos there. So definitely not worth farming these, at least based on my experience here. I imagine that the prices are so high on these due to the fact that it is a component in farming the feared, and people are willing to take a loss on farming Breachstones to get to the feared and then end up getting all of their earnings and loot from farming that. So the moral of the story, don't farm Chayula Breachstones unless you're doing the feared. All the Breach uniques are now a whole lot rarer, and blessings are exceptionally higher in terms of rarity. So that's what you can expect. Maybe flawless Breachstones are the way to go, but probably not the normal Breachstones. And I imagine this is probably the case for Zoth, Esh, Ulmatul, and all of them as well. Hope you guys have enjoyed this little bit of an info bite here, and until next time, cheers.